Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, and welcome to another episode of Post-Conference Presser for Anfield Index. It feels like about 26 million years since the Reds played again. It's only been a couple of weeks, but it does feel that eternity, doesn't it? And with this one, we're glad to get back to the routine. We're glad to talk about Arne Slot and the questions he was asked, the answers he gave. We're glad to look back at the last game or the last little period. We'll look at Everton's threats. We're even delighted to think about the lineup, scores and scorers. There's a million things to look forward to on Tuesday, the 1st of April. April Fool's Day. May have caught some of you out at the Goodison Park multi-story one. Hopefully not you, but hey-ho, it's the 1st of April anyway. I'm your host, Dave Davis, coming to you from a blindingly sunny Edinburgh, actually. The sun has finally hit this part of the world in serious style. It's nice and warm. I am tempted to convince the missus, can we have a barbecue for tea? Whether that'll fly is a different thing. But hopefully, wherever you are, it is nice weather. You are enjoying the sunshine. And most importantly, people, you are excited about the Merseyside derby, which is just over 24 hours away. I'm there, or I will be there. I am madly looking forward to it. It does feel like, I know the FA Cup came round, but football has now properly started again. And there's even some games tonight, isn't there, to whet the appetite. But no one cares about that. What people care about is Arne Slot and what he said. And that's always the starting point for this. The Q and A's that way. And comments are flying in already, so we will get to those one by one. But Vinny O'Connor first up. I said this on a previous pod. You had absolutely zero doubt over this, didn't you? You know full well he was going to ask about Trent, that contract situation, and what Arne Slot thought. Have a listen, people, to this magnificent answer.
Good to see you.
Good to see you as well.
Obviously, during the international break, reports have surfaced again about a possible move for Trent Alexander-Arnold to Real Madrid in the summer. And with that, obviously, fans are wondering what is the likelihood that he will stay beyond this season. So what's your understanding now of Trent's situation? What change has there been, if any, in his position regarding his future? And therefore, what has he told you of his intentions?
No, his situation is unfortunately that he's injured. Otherwise, people would have probably spoken about him, that he had one or two brilliant performances for the England team. And but he's injured, and for him that means that he's fully focused on his recovery. And for us, that means that we're trying to help him to be back as soon as he can. And for the rest, of course, for 8 months, it went a bit up and down, maybe with all kind of talks about him, Virgil or Mo. But we've never been focused on those talks. We've always been focused on what we have to do. That for Virgil and Mo is trying to win the Merseyside derby. And for Trent, it is making sure he's fit as soon as he can.
Brilliant answer. You wouldn't expect anything different from Arne Slot, but total focus, as he said. For Trent, his focus is on getting fit, his recovery, and ahead of the Merseyside derby. Arne Slot, down the ground, cover drive for 4. Not a chance, Vinny O'Connor. And it would have been easy. You know, people are desperate to give me a headline, something we can use. And he's savvy, isn't he, Arne Slot? But keeping it all about what's happening here and now. And he even brings Mo and Virgil into it, as you heard as well. No, everything's about winning the Merseyside derby and that focus. The Trent situation, whatever you want to call it, for Arne Slot is just purely background noise. And he was also asked about, are you eager to get back after the gap? He said, I definitely am. It's been 15 or 16 days or even longer since I managed a game, but many of our players played 1 week ago. Everybody can understand the position we are in at the moment. They're looking so much forward to the upcoming 9 games. The players are refreshed, in my opinion, but it wasn't all negative. We've played a final, so we managed to play a final against a very good Newcastle team, and we had one great game, and in the other games, we done really well against PSG, defensively against PSG, which is one of the best in the Champions League so far, in my opinion. You're right. It has been the 15, 60 days. He was spot on with that. We are looking forward to the upcoming 9 games. This is it now, isn't it? It's felt like that whole international break maybe wasn't the worst thing in the world. The eye of the storm, as I've called it a few times. Now it's about a proper title race. This is the rush to the end. Get the points on the board as quickly as you possibly can. Yeah, he'll probably look and he's an analyzer, isn't he? He'll think back to the previous games and mention those. But as he also said, the players have had that break, and he used that word specifically. The players are refreshed, in my opinion. And that was the key word we were looking for. No two ways about it. He was also asked a little bit more. I'll play almost the next element that's worth just calling out. So let's listen to this one.
It's the first time this season as well that you've lost back-to-back games. So what job have you had to do to pick the players up, and how has that been impacted by the international break?
Yeah, they immediately went to the national teams, and they've played, all of them played important games over there. So when we came back, I did come back to both situations. But I think for most of them, they didn't forget, because they know what have happened, and they are, like me, disappointed for us not winning our first trophy and being out of the Champions League. But we are also realistic, like I just said. If you played 9 games in Europe, you won 8, and you could call it unlucky by going out with penalties. That is something, I think we've tried everything in that game to go through to the next round. And
yeah, we won't forget. And they won't. They will use what's happened just before the international break into the games after it. You know, the leaders in that dressing room, that leadership group, will be talking about, think about what's happened, lads. Yes, we look fatigued, but the break has done us good. We're refreshed and we're ready to go again. There's 9, it's easy to say football cliches, but almost cup finals, you'd call it, wouldn't you, that we're looking forward to. And we've got to be on it, because Everton will be absolutely eager to ruin our party. Let's not dress it up anyway. Do you remember that 2-2, which we'll talk about later on? But he was asked about the derby as well. And he said, I expect the same as that Goodison game, but with one difference, that every time the Everton players do something, they don't get the cheers and the reactions of 50,000 people. I don't know how many can go into Goodison. Our players will get that reaction after every tackle they make, after every pass they do, and that is a different emotion. It's absolutely crucial tomorrow night that Anfield comes to the party. And I am bored shitless hearing all the things around walls, out-towners, atmosphere, local. It's just nonsense. There are 9 games left to go. Many of them are, I think 5 of them are at home. It all starts tomorrow night. It needs to be like Goodison was when we went there, an absolute bear pit for Everton. They need to feel that pressure. Everything should be cheered. If you can't get up for it with 9 to go, give your ticket away, because we should be absolutely desperate to get back to football. There is a title to be won, and I like the way he addressed this, but he shouldn't have to. Anfield needs to play its part tomorrow. And honestly, I'm nearly drooling. I'm salivating at this. Can't wait to get in that ground and watch that match. 9 games, a title to be won. That should be the simple message. And he was asked about players, be it injuries, forms, etc. And yeah, LFC YNWA mentions there. Why does Slot say Chiesa in competition with Salah after scoring when playing centrally in the cup final and looking much better than Nunez or Jota currently? And a lot of the inside trading shots were Chiesa in the middle and people liking the finishers. So what did he say about Federico Chiesa in this one? He said, well, it wasn't only that, but more that he wanted more than we wanted him injured. So that's played a part. Yeah, injuries have robbed us of what could have been. Let's put it that way. He's impacted the game when he's come on. And his assist was from Harvey Elliott, who's also impacted those games when he's come on. So it's good to see all these players are ready. We know we can trust him the moment we need him. Who knows if Chiesa will be needed tomorrow night? Who knows whether he'll start tomorrow night? But we will get into that. But I get it. There's a real clamour to give Chiesa some game time and, let him shine. To me, I just want the strongest team, whatever it's going to be, whatever Arne Slot feels that is. If it's Chiesa, so be it. It would be great to see it. But also we did mention, as LFCYNWA mentions there, he's in competition with Mo Salah. So that proved difficult. That's a line that I wanted to save to last. So maybe that just plays a part in Arne Slot's thinking and lineups recently. And injuries is the one that everyone wants to know probably, and we'll finish on. He said, Ryan Gravenberch is okay. Alisson's trained with us as well. The last check, though, for both of them is later today. Connor Bradley is with us again, but he's only had a few sessions after being out for quite long. So we have to make a smart decision, and I'll keep that to myself. I think we expected this, as in Gravenberch and Alisson to be fully okay, but don't underestimate just how much good this rest Ryan Gravenberch, how much he needed it and how good it will do him, because he looked exhausted in that Carabao. He looked exhausted the weeks before. Let's not mince our words on that. You just hope a fit and firing Gravenberch, back to what we saw in the season earlier in this campaign, can have a big impact. Connor Bradley got bench written all over it, hasn't it? For me, we'd have hoped he'd been back longer. We'd have hoped he'd said positive. Maybe it is a bit of a hoodwink, but he's got bench for me written all over it. So that was the main Q&As. And as honest, we always say, go back and watch. That'll give you the full sort of impact, tone, breakdown, however you wish to put it. But we cast our mind back to this recent time, that Carabao defeat. I know we're trying to move on for it, but Arne Slot mentioned it in the press conference. We talk about the international break lessons. We needed it. We needed that international break. We'd lost back-to-back games for the first time under Arne Slot. We looked devoid of energy, a bit battle-worn. We were out-battled by Newcastle. We can say that. I just think sometimes the change is as good as a rest. And all these players going into their international camp, seeing their national teammates, it's just a change of scenery is helpful. And also, as he mentioned in this one, 4 or 5 of them have had, 4 or 5 days rest for a lot of them, haven't they? The bit break. I think that could be so, so valuable. I despise international breaks normally, but don't underestimate just how vital this one can be. And the second big lesson I would take away is Ramadan is finished. Happy Eid Mubarak to all my followers, everyone at AI, everyone who celebrates. It's so important to stay. You're thinking, why am I saying this? Ibu Konate, Mo Salah, Ramadan's passed. That is disastrous news for Everton, but brilliant for us. You've seen the videos of Mo Salah in training. He's been back like a demon. I just get the feeling that Everton are going to pay dearly for that one. So those are the 2 big lessons. And we talk about Everton. It's a derby. So things can happen in a derby. We know what they can do. Yes, they've not won it in front of fans. That's important to say. But they'll be bang up to ruin this party. And you look at their recent form before international break. The Moisaya had corrected it a bit for them, hadn't he? You have to give him that credit, but only won 1 in 5. And if you look at their recent results, they do concede, but they battle. That's the big thing. 2-0 down against, 2-0 up against United, but a 2-2 draw. So that's something to give hope on. Draws, chipping goals in every game. That is something that I look at specifically. There's not many clean sheets. So they'll have to score, and they'll have that in their mind to get anything at Anfield. A clean sheet for me will win it, but they are a battling side. And there's annoying players in this, like James Tarkowski, his only bloody goal, that equaliser in the last minute. I know across the team, like so Doucouré can pop up with an annoying one. Beto scored against us last time, didn't he? He's got 6 for the campaign, and Dye's out. It's a tough one, and people will say they haven't got many goal threats, and the stats bear that out largely. They've scored 32. Look how low that is. That's if you scroll down the table after your Ipswich, that's the next relegation one, isn't it? But you also look at how tall and how big this squad is. Even Calvert-Lewin, with or without heels, but that's a different matter. They've got height and they will be dangerous from set pieces. And that's something we need to be switched on from the first minute. Aaron Rodgers has got a focus job to do there. So, yeah. But if it all comes down to a straight game of football, we should win. Which brings us to the lineup, score, and scorers. Now, for me, a large part of this is pretty straightforward. That it's going to be Alisson in goal. Right back, I would love to say it's going to be Conor Bradley, but I think he'll be on bench duty, which puts Jarell Quansah at right back. Yes, we lose a lot of the attacking impetus, but it does give us extra height. That should be a positive in that sense. Left back, Robbo, VVD, Canata. I think that's so easy to pick, in my personal opinion. Same with midfield. Gravenberch, McAllister, Szoboszlai. I don't doubt it's going to be anything different whatsoever. I've seen people say, could Curtis Jones be at right back? At some point, it is possible, but I just don't see it tomorrow night personally. The biggest debate, really, is who joins Mo Salah in the forward line, because Salah's on the right, Ramadan's passed, Everton are buggered. I'm telling you, Mo Salah's getting one tomorrow night. It's who occupies the other 2 positions. Cody Gakpo isn't 20% fit anymore. It's a lot better. You saw that. He got the goal for Holland. He played 2 sets of 70-plus minutes. So actually, maybe for all the international minutes, that could serve us really, really well. I think he will start on the left, and we know what his record at home is like. In the middle, no one's grasping it, are they? Be it Núñez, Jota's had a stinker before internationals, may have a point to prove, who knows? But I think it will be Luis Diaz in the middle. I think Diaz in that centre forward position is where he'll start. That's my front 3. Salah, Diaz in the middle, Gakpo in the left. And let's be absolutely clear, Núñez and Jota couldn't complain one jot about that at all. People would like to see Chiesa get some minutes, especially after the goal in the Carabao. Maybe he comes on, who knows? But that is the lineup for me. And the score and scorers for this, I can't get 2-0 out of my head. There'll be bits I think we have to ride it, especially at set pieces. But Liverpool to win, 2-0, Mo Salah to score. That is my honest prediction. And that will mean, because tonight Arsenal play, don't they, against Fulham? I suspect they'll win that, but I'm banking us to win it. So I'm suspecting with 8 games to go, the gap will still be 12 points, which, let's be completely honest, we take now. If we win, everyone will be like, it'd be great to win it early as possible. But if we win, you don't really give too much of a shit about Arsenal's result. Let's not mince our words here. 2-0, Mo Salah to score, Mo Salah to be man of the match. I think Everton are genuinely banging trouble for this one. What I will say is, Conor Bradley to get on at some point, I suspect. It may be a bit difficult at times trying to break down a side with no Trent, without Conor Bradley starting. You can't go at Quan, so he's just got to do what he's got to do. And maybe, especially if you need to break it down, Harvey Elliott, Chiesa, those lights could be absolutely crucial. But 2-0, Mo Salah to score. Like printing money, ladies and gents. There you go. That's my tip for you. But on Tuesday, the 1st of April, just over 24 hours out from the Merseyside derby, that was another post-conference presser